Welcome back, everyone. It's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today, as you can see, we're back on PTCGO taking a look at some post-rotation decks. And today, while it's not really a new archetype, this is actually a deck I think gets a lot better after the rotation, and that's Inteleon VMAX. Definitely one of the more, I think, slightly underwhelming cards that we got back out of Rebel Clash, but thanks to some new additions from Darkness Ablaze and sort of a shift in the meta, I've actually been having a lot of fun experimenting with this to some pretty decent success as well. And of course, guys, if you want any cards to complete this deck or any others on PTCGO, check out our friends over at PTCGOstore.com. You can use that coupon code RARECANDY at checkout. Save yourself some money on your order. And of course, our patrons at patreon.com/RareCandyTCG actually have their own exclusive discount code that gets them an even bigger discount. So like I said, if you do need some codes, be sure to check out our friends over at PTCGOstore.com. So getting back to the actual deck that we're going to be looking at, of course, Inteleon V, if you guys aren't too familiar with it, say VMAX came out right back in Rebel Clash, but it has two different attacks here. The first of which, Hydro Snipe, is actually, dare I say, even like the main attack of the deck. But it does 60, and you may put an energy attached to your opponent's active back into their hand. And then its other attack, Max Bullet for 2 water and a colorist, is 160, and this attack is 60 to 1 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So Max Bullet's pretty cool. You know, you can two-shot basically everything in the format. The 60 Snipe sets up some easy knockouts for you. Sometimes you can get some cheap prizes on things like Jirachis and stuff like that. But really, actually, believe it or not, the attack of the deck that I think is more important is going to be Hydro Snipe. We are basically aiming at disrupting our opponent's energy, you know, kind of taking our time building up these Inteleons and disrupting their energy until we have Max Bullet up and running. That way we can come in and clean up those knockouts. And as you'll notice, we actually are playing no Frostmoth or anything like that in the deck. We're just playing some copies of Turbo Patch to cheat a couple attachments into play. Of course, new card from Darkness Ablaze. On a coin flip, we attach a basic energy from discard to one of your basic Pokemon that isn't a GX. So like I said, by and large, we're kind of cool just hanging back, using Hydro Snipe to disrupt our opponent, but Turbo Patch can come in and maybe help us get Max Bullet up and running a little bit quicker on certain turns if we do need it. But going on to the rest of our Pokemon, as you can see, we're playing kind of like a heavy scoop up net engine in the deck. We have our Jirachis. That's going to be, of course, the main Pokemon we want to lead the game with. But we also have one copy of the Galarian Zigzagoon. The 1 damage counter snipe is actually really important for changing the math on certain things out there. Of course, it's going to allow us to more easily snipe things like Jirachis. It's going to allow us to two-shot Eternatus VMAX with Max Bullet if we need to. So the 1 damage counter, just really, really important in a number of different matchups. We're also playing one copy of Giratina. This is definitely a card that I think slots nicely into this type of deck. Since we are trying to disrupt our opponent's energy, we have that Dimension Breach ability. Whenever you play this Pokemon from hand onto your bench, you may discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So of course, if they are something like an Eternatus VMAX where they have a Capture Energy and a Dark Energy, we can use Giratina, discard the Capture Energy or the Hide Dark Energy, and then use our Hydro Snipe to remove the other energy. So Giratina, I think, is a really cool card in this deck, especially now that we have a lot of good special energies that are floating around in the game. We also have one copy of the Mewtwo from Unbroken Bonds. Of course, this is just the promo art, but the Mind Report ability is super, super good in a deck like this. So whenever we bench Mewtwo, we can get a supporter from discard, put it on top of your deck. One of the plays I like doing the most that I think I do, probably half of my games is, after we played our supporter for turn, we'll use Mewtwo, put our Team Yell Grunt back on top of our deck, and then next turn we'll top deck into that, or we'll research into this to have on our next turn, whatever it might be. So I've really used this combo a lot to disrupt our opponent's energy. So I think Yell Grunt in conjunction with the Mind Report Mewtwo is just really, really strong. Of course, Yell Grunt, another way we can put energy back into our opponent's hand. But beyond that, we have the Crushing Hammers as well. I know a couple other flippy cards in the deck, but if we do hit heads, discarding those energies is going to be really, really big. So as you can see, we have a whole energy denial package. It's going to be really hard for our opponent to keep their energies in play if they aren't running some sort of additional energy acceleration. And, with Inteleon really not having too many decks that can easily one-shot it with lightning sort of taking a hit, I think this strategy is actually going to be pretty good. A couple of other key cards to point out. We have a copy of Great Catcher, just because our Inteleons can hit for 160, which means we can knock out the Denes. So Great Catcher, of course, going to be good for that. Just from there, one copy of Chaotic Swell. We really don't have a stadium of choice we want to use. There are certain things out there, like you could use Wondrous Labyrinth. That is definitely an option. I think if you do play that, you would have to play like a Marshadow or something in addition to that, just so you don't lock yourself into that lock there. But Chaotic Swell just seemed like the best as like a one-of stadium in the deck. And then we also have one copy of Full Bucket here, or not Full Bucket, but Capacious Bucket is what the English version is. But you search your deck for 2 water energies, put them into your hand. The reason we're playing this, though, is because this allows us to have an energy target we can hit off of Stellar Wish, because without this, there's nothing in the deck we could hit off Stellar Wish to get us energy. So beyond that, guys, everything else pretty straightforward stuff. And actually, too, there is another version of Inteleon VMAX that I've been testing out with a different engine. And if you guys do want to see that bonus Inteleon VMAX list, we have it posted for our Stage 2 patrons on our Patreon. So I'll have a link down below in the description if you guys do want some more Inteleon content. But with that being said, let's head in some games. I'll show off how this thing is going to look in action, okay? Okay, so our opponent is going to call the coin flip here. They have a little Lycanroc coin. We see a Zeraora deck box. Doesn't tell us too much about what we're playing against, but hopefully it's not PikaRom. That's the only thing I'm just hoping not to play against, just because, you know, there's still a lot of people playing pre-rotation on PTCGO right now. And if we play against PikaRom, we are pretty much like destined to lose. That's like one of the main reasons that Inteleon really isn't a good card currently. So we'll do this. Go for Dedenne. And hopefully we can get some of those back with Turbo Patch. That's fine though. Sure, we'll just switch into Jirachi, Stellar Wish. Don't know what we're playing against, so I'm just going to go for the Turbo Patch for the moment. Okay, that's pretty nice. So we might be able to get actually the turn to Max Bullet, I think is the name of the attack, up and running. Do we attempt to protect the Jirachi? I think I will, because I don't know what we're playing against, but if they do knock that out, we're going to be in a really bad spot. So just do that and pass over to our opponent here. There's a quick ball, getting rid of a switch. Okay, so nothing too revealing just yet. I mean, any deck that plays Quick Ball and Eldegoss and Switch, this could literally be any number of things. Could be ADP, could be a fire deck. Again, Jirachi still tells us virtually nothing at this point. There's another switch down. I'm cool with that. Okay, so it's going to be a fire deck. Now, is this going to be like Centiskorch? Is it going to be just like the standard like fire toolbox deck? Okay, so it is going to be Centiskorch, and they are playing pre-rotation, so we'll have to see how we can deal with this. I mean, luckily for us, we're water, so I want to say on paper, it seems like we're going to be in a decent spot here, if I had to guess. So if we don't get a draw support, if we got Boss's Orders and bossed up whatever Pokemon they attach to, that seems pretty good. Because we don't even need Inteleon VMAX to knock out a Centiskorch V. There's a Crobat. I mean, honestly, we could even attack with Hoopa this turn and knock out Jirachi. I don't even hate that. Because then we could knock out one Centiskorch VMAX and then one of their bench sitters, and that should get us where we need to go. So I honestly don't hate that sort of line of play. Still no energy at this point, which seems a little bit surprising. Wow, okay. Definitely not what I expected. So yeah, just to double check. Yeah, they have 3 Pokemon with abilities, so we should be knocking this thing out. Like, do we get rid of another Scoop Up Net or the energy? We've already gone through a good bit of energy, so I actually might get rid of the Scoop Up Net. Get ourselves Crobat V. Okay, so I actually kind of wish we would have attached here and gone for the switching play, but it's okay. So we're just going to go for We'll definitely evolve, because that we definitely want to protect our Inteleon here. But from there, we're just going to go for Evil Admonition. The next turn, we can just switch, boss up, even Centiskorch VMAX, knock it out right away. Unless they have like a heat factory, or I'm sorry, heat fire energy, that would kind of mess up our plan. But even still, like, we're in kind of a good spot, I do have to say. Yeah, we just get the victory screen. So our opponent really didn't have that great of a start, it appeared. Not sure what was in their hand, but apparently it wasn't very good. Okay, so let's call the coin flip, which we do win. That's cool. See a dark deck box. If this is Eternatus, I'd actually be pretty excited to play against that. His hand is not too great, though. I really don't want to toss away a Hammer and an Inteleon VMAX. Feels pretty bad. So I think we're just going to attach here. We see an Absol. There is a world where we, I guess, could technically get knocked out, but I kind of want to just sit on this hand for the moment, to be honest. That way we can abuse this Crushing Hammer before we get rid of this hand. There's a Marnie. I'm actually cool with that. Like I said, I really didn't want to lose those resources in particular there. And no supporter, no way to draw cards. Feels bad, but at least we didn't have to burn our Dedenne or anything like that just yet. And we do still have a Crushing Hammer, so actually if we hit heads on this hammer, that'll be really big. That'll kind of keep us in the game for a turn longer. Ooh, okay, and they're playing special energies too, so that is... Okay, well that's actually pretty good as well. We could attack this guy, it'll be doing 50. It actually could set up some math for our VMAX later. So let's Crushing Hammer, Tails, that's a bummer. It's probably honestly more important though that we try to get a supporter. So we're just gonna pick up the Hoopa. And we get a communication, perfect. That's why I did not want to bench that immediately. So we'll get Crobat. Let's just double check what we have in deck too. So we do have Giratina and Mewtwo. That's definitely important. Hoopa will be probably actually a good attacker at some point. Zigzagoon. Got that. And we did prize an Inteleon as well. Prized a Crushing Hammer. Prized a Turbo Patch. We do have our Yell Grunt. That's actually really good. But from here, yeah, we'll just grab Crobat. I don't want to put down the Dedenne and be like a great catcher target if we don't have to. Sure, we'll go for a Hammer. Jeez, okay. This is why you don't play coin flip cards, kids. You have stuff like this happening to you. So we could play Marnie. But a part of me wants to just like sit on this hand and keep this Inteleon VMAX. So I think that's what we're going to do here. More likely this Jirachi is going to go down, but that's fine. I just want to save this Inteleon since we did prize one. I definitely don't want one of our two to go to the bottom of our deck. So ideally next turn we find, obviously we attack with Inteleon VMAX, we get Giratina. That way we can strip the Special Dark and the regular Dark too. Or if we just hit heads ever on a Crushing Hammer, that would also do the trick, but I feel like that's unlikely given the current state of the way this game is going. There is a research. Okay, that's good. So that means we're not going to get bossed and get our Inteleon knocked out. So yeah, the big thing we want to find though is Giratina. That's like the card I think we absolutely need. Alright, so we'll do this. And go for Marnie. Nice. Okay, so our hand is pretty bad. Like, it's pretty bad. But luckily we can actually kind of survive for a little bit. So we're going to get some water energies out. That will at least thin our deck a little bit. Put some of those supporters back on top. So yes, we will do that. We will scoop up net. Keep that thing safe. And then we will just go for Hydro Snipe. Put that Dark Energy back in their hands. So, you know, unless they have some other form of energy acceleration we don't know about, more than likely it's going to be kind of a challenge for them to get an attack off the next turn or so. So hopefully that will give us the time we need to kind of get back in this. Maybe top deck a supporter. Or if our opponent wants to go for a Marnie, that would be great. Like, hopefully they see that we have the Giratina in hand and they Marnie us. That'd be like best case scenario here. Stealthy Hood. Ooh. Ooh. Now that's actually a bit annoying. But I guess if I was my opponent, I would probably put that on the bench to Eternatus, but that's just me. So we will play Turbo Patch. Oh my god, we're 0-4 on all of our coin flips. That's so awful. So we're in a weird spot because if we... Okay. Yeah, I think we just go with this. I just don't want some shenanigans to happen that gets our Inteleon knocked out in this next turn and we don't have energy to actually attack with. So yeah, we probably just put our damage here, I would imagine. Seems good. So there's definitely a lot that could go wrong here. Like even Yveltal could knock us out theoretically. There's another Eternatus. Capture energy come down on that. So, ooh, Dark City. That's actually kind of nice. That will give us free retreat. Turbo Patch. Let's see if we can make this happen. 0-5 on our coin flips. I just want to keep putting that out there. Good news is we are going to at least get some prizes. So we'll do this. And Hooba actually might be able to kind of like save the day for us. So research, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Crushing Hammer, fantastic, because we can go. And Turbo Patch, maybe one of these coin flips will finally work. But next turn we can go Tina, discard Capture Energy, then Crushing Hammer. Hopefully, get rid of that. Swing with Hoopa. Hoopa's actually going to be pretty good here. So let's see, what, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 140. So 150 plus the, because of the 10 base damage. 160. Or I'm sorry, 170. Okay, just gonna go for the Dread End. That's actually a pretty big whiff from our opponent here. Okay, let's see what we can make happen. There we go. Get rid of that thing. And yeah, I think we pretty much like have this wrapped up at this point, I want to say. Jeez. So we're what, 1-6 on our coin flips? And yeah, I think at this point it's like basically a wrap, guys. So we'll get this down. So what, how much are we doing? What did I say? 170, 20, 40, what? So 30, 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 170, what, 190? We could like almost win if we had a scoop up net here. But yeah, I think we're actually just going to switch. And then, yeah, we just need Zigzagoon scoop up net. That would do the trick. Right, let me just double check the math real quick, make sure I'm not off at all. Oh no, no, we would need more than that. So we're just gonna go for the Evil Admonition here. So yeah, the Zigzagoons wouldn't have done that. I was thinking this thing had like 320 or something. But yeah, we just get the victory screen. So yeah, once we got our energy denial strategies going, I mean, and even you can see, even with flipping like what, 5 tails, 6 tails, something like that, just getting those one crushing hammer here and there will do the trick to sort of make these two energy attacking decks like kind of get crippled between all of your different energy denial. So yeah, we kind of had a weird mid game there, but still wound up working out for us. Okay, so it looks like we're playing against some sort of lightning dark deck. I mean, if it's lightning, I feel like we're gonna lose, but if it's more of a dark deck, we might win. So yeah, very curious what we're actually playing against here. Oh god, this hand is so bad. A good thing is we're going second, so we can actually at least get rid of 2 energy if we need to. But yeah, this looks really bad. Okay, so we see an Ranger that's not something that can kill us, which is good. There's Primate Wisdom. A Pokegear, okay. Marnie, hey, I'm looking forward to that to next turn. Bring it on. Okay, so pass over to us. I'm cool with that. So what, we're hitting 30 on this thing. I don't think it's worth benching the Zigzagoon. I mean, I don't know what we're playing against, so maybe I should put down the Zigzagoon. I'm just assuming they're not going to be able to knock us out. So hopefully we get more need and we can actually play the game. Crushing Hammer. So is this Sableye like Arctisult? Okay, Marnie, here we go. Here we go. We got a game. We got a game, guys. Okay, that's perfect. We can easily make this hand work. Zacian, okay. Okay, so maybe it's not a lightning dark deck. Yeah, not sure what to make of this. I mean, based on their deck box, at least. Right now, it just kind of looks like they're playing like a normal Zacian deck. And an Intrepid Sword, so I'm cool with that. Now, we just have to make sure they don't have, like, a way to knock out our Inteleon. That's the big thing. So, we do have a Scoop Up Net. Do we want to burn that on something before we... Probably not. I think we are kind of cool just chilling with this. So we'll get rid of this. I mean, we could go for Crobat, but I think we'll just do this instead. Okay, Crushing Hammer, I like that. Not when it does that though. So we'll just do this. It will attach. I think we'll just save this hand because next turn we can communicate for our VMAX and start attacking with that. But for now we'll do Evil Admonition. And so right now this is going to leave this Oranguru stranded, and also too, we can clean this up with like Zigzagoon, Scoop Up Net if we do need to. Please don't have boss's orders. That's like all I ask. Please don't have it in discard and be able to go for Elagos. Okay, you don't have it in discard. That's good. Going for another Zacian. I like that. Just play research. Okay, gonna go for Marnie. I liked her hand, but it's not boss's orders. It's like, okay, that's basically fine as well. It just gives us right what we wanted. Okay, we're gonna see Primate Wisdom. Okay, so we're just gonna knock out our Hoopa. I'm cool with that. So we will promote Jirachis because we have the switch. We may as well get a Stellar Wish off of it before we toss this hand. Oh man, I don't like having to discard Inteleon VMAX. It feels kind of bad. So we'll just Stellar Wish first. Chaotic Swell is probably the best thing here because we can... Maybe Quick Ball even? I don't hate that. So I'm fine getting rid of one research. I think we can live with that. Or, I'm sorry, one Inteleon. And we'll just go for Crobat here. And ideally I want to hit some energy denial. That's really what we want to see. Okay, so we get Turbo Patch, that's great. Okay, we do get a heads. Fantastic, fantastic. Crushing Hammer. Really wanted one of those hammers to work. So here we're just going to go for the research. So we could go for like, oh man. Do we have Dedenne left in deck? Our, oh, I was about to say we don't have energy, but we do have a Capacious Bucket right here. So that's fine. So we'll just do that. And yeah, I'm kind of cool with the way this is going. Because what we can do is we can actually take a double knockout next turn. We can go max bullet, 60 on the bench here. And then if they do like pivot around and try to do some shenanigans like that, we can actually take out both of these. Or we can actually just boss's orders and switch them for us. So research, cool. I was kind of worried about Marnie there. As long as they don't get reset stamped or they don't play like Metal Goggles or Metal Core Barrier or something like that to change their HP. Like as long as their HP remains the same this turn, we're actually gonna have an insane next turn. Okay, there's an Acrobike from our opponent. Again, waiting to see some tool cards. And I'm curious, like, what build of Zacian is this? Is this like the Jirachi Prism version or straight Zacian? Not sure. Okay, so just a Brave Blade. That's like our ideal scenario here. Because we can actually get 4 prizes this turn, which feels pretty insane. So let's attach here. Get this thing up and running. We will do this, bring this guy up. We will Mewtwo, get that Bulbasaurus back on top of our deck. If they don't knock us out, we can just bring up the Dedenne, and that is going to be the game, guys. So we'll do that. 60 there. And, you know, our opponent needs a lot. I mean, they can get a knockout. Like, it's not unreasonable for them to power up another Zacian this turn if they... Okay, we get Turbo Patch. Oh, well, we already evolved Turbo Patch, not too good. Dedenne is actually a really good prize to get. They've only used 1 Metal Saucer, no Turbo Patches, so... There is a world where actually we do get knocked out by this thing this turn. Okay, there's the Metal Saucer. So let's see. Do they have it? Cynthia and Caitlin. So that's only going to get them 3 cards. That's good. It's not like a really aggressive digging option like research. Oh, interesting. How to research. I feel like they have to just go all in to get this KO, because if they whip this, I mean, they saw that we put a boss's orders back on top of our deck. Oh, but maybe they already have it in hand. That's the other thing I was thinking. Like maybe they already have like the last Metal Saucer Turbo Patch. Oh, but here we just get the victory screen, so I guess they whiffed. So yeah, the math you can see for this thing really works out nicely. Like even though you're not one-shotting the regular Pokemon V, you can clearly stagger your damage in a way where you can get those cool double KOs. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up our look here at the Inteleon VMAX deck. Like I said at the beginning of this video too, guys, I think this card's actually one of the, you know, sort of up-and-comers on the horizon whenever the rotation goes into effect. PikaRom and really all of the Lightning decks losing all of their main support they relied on, like those Electro Powers, Thunder Mountain, etc., I think really paves the way for cards like this to do a bit better in the new post-rotation format. So this is going to be the list we are messing with currently, but like I said, guys, if you do want to see an alternate list for Inteleon VMAX, has a different source of energy acceleration, different engine, that's available for our Stage 2 patrons at patreon.com/RareCandyTCG. I will have a link down below in the description to that. But of course, guys, if you did enjoy this video today, feel free to like and subscribe, and consider supporting this channel, like I said, by becoming a patron or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.